Welcome back, Blue Raider Nation. We are introducing you to our offensive coordinator and QB's coach, Anthony Scelfo. And our first coach, I want you to tell us more about yourself, your journey in coaching, and just how you got to this point of being in the blue and white.
It's been a winding road,
Okay.
but a fun one. You know, it started from New Orleans, went to Tulane, and then ended up playing pro baseball for a few years, and went back, got my degree after I finished playing. And I wanted to get into coaching. I grew up in it. Family's in it, cousin, uncle, dad's doing it. You know, that's how I was raised. That's how I grew up, and couldn't get in. Obviously, it's a hard profession to crack sometimes. And so I went to finance. I was working at Morgan Stanley in New Orleans, and then an opportunity came up at UTSA. You know, 3 or 4 years later, and I went GA at 28 years old. So very, very late start, but it's always what I wanted to do. I wanted to get into it. Like I said, I grew up going to the offices, going to practices, having players over at the house. We used to have players would come and babysit, right? You know, things like that. So I was always around, and I saw the interaction he had and some of the things that he did with his guys, and watching him coach and learning and all those things. And I applied it a lot to really everything I did. So got an opportunity at GA, took advantage of it. It was an unbelievable experience. 2 years at UTSA, then the quarterback's coach at Northwestern State, and then had the opportunity to go back and work for my dad at Southeastern. So it was pretty neat. You know, went to tight ends, then receivers, then back to quarterbacks and offensive coordinator. So really getting that experience at the other positions and, you know, learning, because you see it and you say, oh, it's easy, go do that. Well, when you're actually teaching it, and trying to get them to do that, it's a lot harder than it sounds, right? So it really helped from that coordinator standpoint, right? Now you understand the issues and the problems and some of the ways to remedy it. So I enjoyed it. It's been a crazy path and a crazy road, probably not a normal one that most coaches have taken, but it was mine, and it brought me here, and excited for the opportunity to be here in Murfreesboro and work for Coach Mason.
Well, you have an unusual path, but that doesn't mean it's not a great one. You said that you waited a long time to get that first opportunity. Do you think it made you cherish these moments more because of it?
I think so. You know, sometimes you get a little impatient too, you know, because if I was a 22-year-old right out of college, let's go. You know, you're just along for the ride. If you got to move every year, you move every year, right? Well, at 28, the bills were a little different. Life was a little different, right? So, you know, I think sometimes I would get a little impatient with it, and you just had to take a step back and realize the career is the career, and experience is experience, and you got to get it some way, somehow. It doesn't matter how old you are when you get it, right? So, you know, it was what it was, but it's definitely allowed me to appreciate it a little bit more, I think, and having a little more mature approach to it than maybe I would have had if I did it right out of college, you know?
Yeah.
So
You kind of glossed over it, your pro baseball career. You know, you were 8th round pick for the Tampa Bay Rays, and you were in the minor league system for about 4 years. What was that experience like?
It was fun. It was awesome.
And don't be too humble either.
It was a good experience, you know? I learned a lot. I tell you, I had some great coaches, played with some great players, some guys that are still playing.
Yeah.
So I think one thing I learned, baseball, it's a daily grind, right? I mean, whether you go 4 for 4 or 0 for 4, you're playing again the next day, and you better figure it out. And it teaches you some resiliency, some the ability to withstand some of the ups and downs, because you hit July in the Florida State League, and it's hot and it's rough, and if you're hitting 250, it could be a rough month or a rough season, you know. So it tests you like that, and I think that's something. I took a lot of things from baseball, and you know, some of the managers I had just been incredible. You know, Matt Cottrell is one of the best coaches I've ever had across any sport, and he's the manager of the Royals. He was my manager in Bowling Green, and spent a lot of time with him, a lot of good conversations with him, and learned a lot from him. And you know, you see what he's done, and so I think you know, from the field coordinators, the front office, down to, you know, even the guys, even position, pitching, outfield, all those things, all those rovers that are around minor league baseball, you just learn so much. And I think I was able to take some of those lessons to football in terms of just being even keel. It doesn't matter what you did the play before, or the game before, the half, but whatever it is, just go on to the next one, you know. And I think you're playing every day. And there's no break. There's nowhere to hide in baseball. And you know, if you can kind of have that approach in football, I think it'll go a long way. And I always tell the guys, I feel like I'm pretty good after games. I don't think you can really tell whether we won or lost. You know, after about 5 minutes, you know, you get excited or you get down, and then you can't change it. You wake up, go to work on Sunday, and you figure out either what you did wrong, what you did right, either improve upon it or fix it. And so I think I've taken that approach into this. So
you've shed light that coaching's in your blood. You just came from the opportunity of coaching underneath your dad, Coach Frank Scelfo, at SLU. What do you think that was like? Those moments of just sharing the field with your dad, learning from him. How special was that?
I mean, that's everything I know is from him.
Yeah.
You know, that's how everything I've done and learned and how to coach, the process, the enjoyment, the ups and the downs, the appreciating some of the things. You know, I think a lot of times nowadays people don't appreciate wins. You know, it's hard to win, and I've learned that from him. Every win is really, really hard. I don't care who you're playing, how bad you play, how well you play. Enjoy it and appreciate it, because they don't come often, and you see changes every season, and families displaced, and movement, and all those things happening, and it's hard. And I've learned, so watching him do it over the years, you know, watching how he was when he left the office and came home. You know, I watched him on the practice field, and then when he come home, like, all right, he's able to turn it on and off, right? I never saw him bring a win or a loss. The wins, you always bring those home. I never saw him bring a loss or a bad day home. You know, it was pretty neat. I saw him turn down bigger and better opportunities from a career standpoint to not move us, right, in the middle of high school. And he's turned down higher paying, bigger jobs, bigger conferences. And, you know, he wasn't going to do that to his family and stuff like that. So you appreciate a lot. And I don't think you understand it when you're in it, right? I was 15, 16 years old, right? So you don't appreciate or understand those things. And then as you get older and you watch it and you see it, man, it was pretty special. So to be able to do it now, be able to do it under him and have him come in and poke holes in what you're doing and criticize it and all those things, you got to realize too, you know, around the staff, he's still the head coach. And then if you really want to say something, you better do it in private and figure out a way to close the door, or do it at home, you know, go to the house or something when the kids are over there. But it was special. It was neat, unbelievable experience. I know my mom loved it. Probably the biggest thing, he loved it the most with the grandkids, having them around. You know, he replaced me in about 5 minutes, and I'm sure
that's normal.
I don't think he could care less. He's gonna miss those grandkids. He's gonna miss them running into the office every day, and so that was pretty neat though, to watch that and see it take place.
Well, and speaking of the grandkids, you have 3 boys yourself.
I do.
And your wife Bailey, who is also in the sports realm, you know, has her.
Correct. Yeah.
So what is life like at home? Like, you know, if you're not watching football, what are you watching on the TV?
There's not a lot of TV. Miss Rachel, maybe. You know.
Yes, that's so true.
Giovanni, my oldest, is in love with Sandlot right now.
Oh, that's a good.
And heavyweights, those two are really big right now. So that's usually what's on the TV. You know, Bailey got into it. You know, she was commuting to New Orleans when we first moved to Hammond, and then a job opened up there, and it's what she did. It was just a different field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't something new. She's not in the sports world, I can tell you that.
Okay.
It was more of a job at first, but she's really good at it. She loved it, and it offered the flexibility, especially having, you know, the 3 animals I have at home. So, but it's fun. You know, she's in it right now, you know, with me being up here, and they'll be up next week and be able to see them. But they're awesome. I might not be able to do a lot of things or know a lot of things, but I can do that, and I enjoy. I can be a dad. I'll do that all day long. I love it. They're fun. They're fun.
I'm sure it was, you know, talking about the family ties at SLU, it was probably a big decision for you to take this step and choose the blue and white. So why did you?
I think first and foremost, Coach Mason, you know, calling and then being around them, because I have learned that throughout the years. Who you work for matters, and it's important. And good people, it's hard to find in this profession sometimes. It really is. And you could see it. He's as genuine as they come. He's as honest as they get, and there's no gray. He lives in the black and the white, and I love that. That's how I grew up and how I was raised and learned in this profession. So I think that's first and foremost. When you have a chance to work for a good person, a good guy, it's need to jump and take advantage of it. And then, this area, it's a great area to be up here and to be part of it. But it was an unbelievable opportunity as well, just from a professional standpoint, a career standpoint, and it was one of those you just can't pass up.
Yeah.
It's when it happened, it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It wasn't something I was searching for, or expecting, or anything like that. And
well, they say the best things happen when you least expect it.
yeah. So it's, I think I got lucky. I really did, and it's been nothing but a pleasure these first couple weeks. So still trying to get the lay of the land and figure everything out. But I'm glad I did it. It's been great.
Well, diving deeper into kind of your coaching style and the way that you just make sure that you're commanding a room, how would you describe the way that you do coach?
Honest, direct.
Okay.
I've sat in those seats. I understand what it's like to have some anxiety and maybe looking over your shoulder and wondering what the coaches are thinking, and if I mess, all those things that go into playing sports, and especially college athletics. So, I try not to have that on the guys I coach, right? I don't want them to feel that way, because you're just not going to play as well, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to – I don't think it won't go as well as it could. And so you try to be direct, you try to be honest, but back up what you're saying too. It's not hairs on the back of your neck. It's not intuition or feelings, it's the film. And turn it on and talk through it, but coach them. If here's why you're not playing, or why you're not doing something, or why you're in the position that you're in, show them, teach them, and let's see if we can improve it. Because at the end of the day, they're on your team. They're your guys, and you got to go to win with them. You got to be around them every day and figure out a way to make them better and coach them up. And so I think just that honesty, being that direct, being black and white with them, I think goes a long way. At least that's how I wanted to be coached. And, so that's what I try to do. I try to do with those guys, set an expectation and go from there.
Looking at your resume, you have a strong impact in red zone efficiency in the offense, and even more specifically in the rush attack. How do you want to bring those strengths here to MTSU once you hit the field next season?
I mean, I've had some really good players too.
Yeah.
That's
credit to
that's
them,
by far the most important thing. And then I've had really good coaches. So I sit up in the AC and call plays off a call sheet. That's what I do. I'm not down on the field and doing anything. They got to do it all. So the work comes in during the week. Hopefully you call the right play at the right time. But you have good players and you have good assistants, good coaches. I get the credit, but it's not. It's everybody involved. There's a lot that goes into running just one good play. There's a lot that goes into it. So we've just been really fortunate to have good buy-in, good players, a good staff, good culture over the years, and they do it. Like I said, I grab a bottle of water and have a headset on and relax for 60 minutes, So not much. I'm not doing much. I can promise you that.
Again, you're being humble. But when we're talking about the identity of this offense, you're already trying to build that chemistry in the spring and the off season as we are already gearing up towards the 2026 season. If you could tell someone one thing about what you want this offense to look like next season, what would the identity be?
Physicality, I think, in one word. Effort, strain, toughness. It's our job to coach. I mean, that's why we do it, right? We got to put the players in the right position. They control their effort, they control their assignment. And if they know what to do and they're doing it fast and it's not working out, well, then we got to look inward as coaches. And maybe we're not putting him in the right spots, because he's playing hard and he knows what to do. Well, let's ask him to do the right thing. Let's put him in a position where he can take advantage of his skill set, right? So I think that's the biggest thing for me. We can figure out the rest, but, man, when you're playing hard and fast and physical and tough each and every play, you're going to give yourself a chance in the fourth, and that's what you want, right? You got to give yourself a chance each and every game. So if we can get the players to do that, I think we'll be all right. And then it's our job to do it in the meeting room beforehand. So,
what have you learned the most about coaching young student athletes, especially as the landscape has begun to evolve through your coaching? Though, what have you learned the most about it?
It's definitely changed, right?
Constantly.
I mean, when I was at Tulane, it was completely different. Just the locker room and what the conversations are being had and all those things. So it's different, but I think the ups and downs. There's so many more things popping in to their realm, right? I mean, I didn't have any iPhones. We didn't have an iPhone yet, and man, that makes me sound old. But I mean, we came out. My freshman year was Katrina, right? So
oh wow,
we were going through something a little different.
Way different.
But you just rolled with it. But there were no phones. There was no social media. There was nothing to distract you. Your best friends were always your guys on the team. You didn't have connections with guys at other schools and things like that. So the distractions were a lot more limited, back then. So I think now just figuring out a way to keep them focused and keep them engaged and to keep them here and understand that we all have a job to do and we got to do it together.
Yeah.
They need us to do our job. We need them to do theirs. But at the end of it, we got to do it together. I'm going to call a bad play. They got to bail me out, right? There might be a look or something that the defense is doing that's a problem. Well, they need us to have a rule or to have an answer to put them in the right spot so they can be successful. So it's everybody being on the same page, but I think just keeping them focused and engaged is probably most important.
Okay. Last question is.
Please.
I was waiting for you to say that.
I'm ready.
Whenever you are talking to the community of Murfreesboro, of MTSU, there's a lot of pride in this school and what we have done with this program. What are you wanting to tell them to be most excited about whenever they witness what's going to come in 2026?
I think the kids will play hard for them. I think, they'll, people spend their money to come out and watch games. They take time out of their day. They want to see a good product on the field. And I think, the scoreboard will take care of itself, right? Look up at the end of the fourth and see what it says, and it usually doesn't lie. It tells the truth. You earn wins and losses. Man, just put forth the effort, the intensity, the passion that the fans deserve. I think that's the biggest thing. It's fun to play that way. Yeah. It's fun to have. I never understood playing passive and timid and. I mean, play with some excitement. It's hard to do. It's hard to play Division I football. It's hard to play college athletics in general. Well, you put in a lot of time lifting and running and working out and going to class and doing all these things. Well, reap the benefits of it. Enjoy it. And then look up at when the clock strikes 0 and see if your effort was good enough. Yeah. I do believe it doesn't lie. It's going to tell the truth. It always does. Year after year after year, it tells the truth. So I think when they come out, they'll see a team that's excited to play for them. And I think that's the biggest thing, what I want to do on offense. But it starts at the top, and Coach Mason, that standard's already set. So you just got to fall in line with it,
All right. Well, there you guys have it with Coach Scelfo. Thank you so much for your time and for enduring this long podcast with me.
Stressful. It's very stressful.
All right. Well, we can't wait to see what you do on the field, Coach. And thanks again for your time. And I'm so glad that you're in the blue and white this season.
Thank you.